Good evening, wonderful people. How are you doing? Stephen here on Esteemed Kompany Live. On Friday night, you're all probably doing more exciting things than watching a YouTube video about Manchester City. Well, some of you won't be, but some of you will be. You'll be out having a social life and all that. Either way, if you are here, thank you very much for watching. Massively appreciate it. If not, catch it tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed it tomorrow. Either way, I had to go live again to talk about City versus Napoli. I really enjoyed that. This, of course, is 5 things that we learned from that game where I honed down on a few points that felt particularly prescient for me, things that really deserve a deeper dive, because there's lots and lots and lots to talk about from this game, a game that I really enjoyed. Of course, there's more exhaustive views on it in last night's reaction video, but yeah, the more the dust settles on this game, and I know it was with 10 men, and I know there's a lot to be said for it. I would still argue, by the way, the form was good before this red card. Anyway, I still feel we're moving in the right way. I can just feel it. And I think there's some very positive stories to dive into from this game. And I'll start in a second after saying please give the video a like, please do subscribe if you're new, and please let me know what you think of all the comments, not the comments, all the other topics of this video and all the observations, if they're astute, if you agree with them or not. Hello to Nishai in the chat, by the way, and hello to everyone watching live. It's massively appreciated. Yeah, subscribe if you're new, hugely appreciated. So I'll start with the place that I want to start more than anything, with a big old question. Is this a new Phil Foden? Is Phil Foden evolving? Has he taken a moon candy? That's one for the Pokemon fans a long time ago. Is he evolving into Phil Fodinho or Silver, a David Silva, Phil Foden sort of clone? I mean, no, it's not a new Phil Foden. We've seen signs of this before, but it felt different to me, if I'm being honest with you. Last night and the United game were incredibly exciting. I tweeted last night during the game, this is my favourite version of Phil Foden. I love the Phil Foden that wants the ball, who wants to play 1,000 passes, who wants to link up with people and move around the pitch and link up play and make things happen. Phil Foden has got some reputation of not being a creator for some reason. Like, I don't know where it comes from, but he absolutely is. Phil Foden is a remarkably talented young man who absolutely can dictate play and can create things. I've seen it happen for the youth sides. And what I would say, as I said last night in the match reaction, I think Phil's been cursed by his own versatility. At one point, Guardiola decided to make him a false 9, and he was really good at it. At one point, Guardiola decided to turn him into a right winger, and he was really good at it. At one point, Guardiola decided to turn him into a left winger, and he was really good at it. And at one point, 2 years ago, Guardiola said you're going to be a sort of second striker 10 thing, and he got 20 odd goals and won PFA Player of the Year, and he was very good at that. But the point I'm making is that Phil Foden has been a whole number of things at Manchester City, other than really a classic 10, I would say, but to the point where I feel like he's been looking for an identity, and I actually feel like he was moving away from the Phil Foden that I knew from the academy. The Phil Foden that was a lot more involved with the build-up, a lot more involved with the creativity, and a man who would absolutely thrive in that space behind the striker. And in the academy, when I first watched him, he was behind a big, lightning quick, talented centre forward called Tyrese Campbell. You might know him. I think he's at Sheffield Wednesday these days. Was he at Stoke? He was at Stoke. I don't know where he's at now, but he was very Erling Haaland coded. And Phil Foden had so much fun playing with him in the under-16s. And later on, he played with... Who did he play with? Who was a striker when he was in the 18s? I've forgotten who it was. I think it was a fella called Nabil Touazy. And also it was Lorenzo Gonzalez. Either way, he was very good playing as a classic 10. We haven't seen a lot of that at Manchester City. And people, I think, felt that maybe he can't be creative. And I know he can be. And last night we saw the step from Phil Foden where he developed that pauser. Guardiola's talked that Phil always needed this, had this urge to go 100 miles an hour. He slowed it down, man, and he looked like he's evolved a little bit. And you look at his touches last night, 82 touches, 86% pass accuracy. Bear in mind, a lot of them were attempted through balls. 8 key passes, created 8 chances, ridiculous stuff. 1.55 expected assist, got the assist, of course. He nearly could have scored as well, actually, at one point. Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. And he was winning loads of interceptions as well, and he was constantly just doing his defensive work. He was just really impressive. Interception. I was just very impressed with him. I thought he was absolutely fantastic last night. And to me, this is what Phil Foden can be. I think the best Phil Foden is a playmaker. I think the best Phil Foden wants to be on the ball, and that is my favourite version of Phil Foden. That one. The one that I know has David Silva coded ability. And obviously no one will ever be David Silva, but You'd never think David Silva watching him 2 years ago. You'd think a second striker scoring goals, but I know he can play that way. And seeing it last night and seeing it against United, that was a thrill to me. Absolutely was, because I know just how talented he is. Phil, if you're somewhere watching this, mate, go down that route. Keep playing that way. The goals will come. Your best version of you isn't goals, mate. Of course, the goals will be there. It's this. The guy who gets on the ball, who drops deep to get the ball for the defenders, who's passing it around, spraying passes, dictating play. That kind of Phil Foden. Then with the magic of the assist and creating chances, and a great set piece taker too. Oh, Phil Foden's got it all. And it says it all that this guy, when he wants to, and I saw a great tweet last night. This guy said to me, it's mad that Phil Foden has played in a number of positions, and when he believes he can be, he's one of the best in the world in any of them. Which is true. He was a world-class left winger at one point, an incredible false nine, a great right winger, a great second striker, and now looks like he could be a great number 10 as well. I love it. I think Phil is an absolute gem of a footballer. And Phil, I love you, mate. Is Doku taking that next step? Some people would argue he took it ages ago, and that's fair. But I would argue he hasn't. And I would argue because Guardiola's basically implied it. Guardiola's talked an awful lot about his wingers. They need to score goals. They need to get assists. They need to be contributing big time in terms of the stats and all that kind of stuff. And it looks like right now that Jeremy Doku is adding consistency and a new level, a new dimension to his game. And it could be the tactical changes. Guardiola apparently went to Linda's last night after his goal. And apparently Linda's been working an awful lot with him on his movement and so on. And his tactical development, the way he's drifting inside right now, is incredibly impressive. That goal last night was pure Eden Hazard, with a touch of Jeremy Doku, of course, as well. But the way that he drove past people with that electric burst of pace, wonderful footwork, and the pace and skill centrally again, just off right of centre against Luke Shaw against United for the assist, is remarkably good. It's really, 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 really exciting and very, very encouraging. And that is the step that maybe he can make. He's 23 by the way, Nishai, but you're right, he's still very young. That's just, if he makes that step, then we've got a hell of a player here, because he's creating and he's scoring goals right now, and it's very, very encouraging. So this is interesting. I saw this great tweet from Sky Blue Times, which I'll show you, where it shows you his touches per 90, based off, and it's a small sample size admittedly because the season's very much underway, but look at this graphic here. That is non-penalty expected goals and expected assisted goals per PA touch. I don't know what that fully means, but either way, as you can see there, it's gone up massively. It's gone up massively this season so far, which is very, very exciting. His shot creating actions is very high. Gone up so far this season as well. He looks really good, basically. He seems like he's choosing his moments better. I agree with that summation over on this tweet here. And he looks like he's getting forward, he's contributing, he's driving forward, creating chances, 4 key passes in this game, a beautiful goal. And if he keeps going that way, then look, honestly, he could be a truly special player. He just has to do it regularly. But this evolution, once again, of him playing a bit more central, and he'll thrive in that as well when you've got Nori going out wide more regularly as well. I really like it because he's explosive and he's very hard to stop. And if you get through centrally, you're in front of goal and not just out wide from putting a cross in. That's exciting to me, and I want to see more of this from Jeremy Doku. Third thing, look, I know it was 10 men, but City looked totally in control before that as well last night. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Rodri looked somewhere back to his best. He was close to his Imperious best last night. Easily the most comfortable I've seen Rodri in a City shirt since his injury was. And it's very, very encouraging. I'll show you the stats from last night. 92% pass accuracy, 109 touches, 3 key passes, pinging long balls again, winning challenges. I think he completed 100% of his challenges last night. He won every aerial duel and he won every ground duel, which is really impressive. He just looks good. He looks really good last night, and that was Rodri dictating play. That was Rodri not getting caught on the ball like he did against United a couple of times. That was him stepping away from defenders. That was him knowing where to be. That was him dictating play again. Once again, just 10 men. But there was something in his stride, a confidence and a rhythm to him that looked like Rodri. The way he was pinging passes nicely, the way he was getting forward. Even one long-range half volley which stung the keeper's hands was really nice. Rodri, if he finds his Imperious form, he's the best midfielder in the world. And as John said, Rodri is the truth. Absolutely. I honestly, look, if Rodri and Phil Foden and Haaland and Donnarumma and Vardy and Diaz find their best form, we are challenging from that title. Absolutely, unequivocally. Because that as a spine is ridiculous. Donnarumma, Vardy, Diaz, Haaland, Rodri, Foden, Jesus, that's as strong a spine as you'll get in world football, truly. If they all find their best form, that is multiple world-class players there. And that, to me, is very, very exciting. So, yeah, like, Rodri is a cracking player. As John said, he went into multiple 50-50s that you think right now he'd be nervous about, but he won the ball, we gained control, we carried on playing, and it's really encouraging signs for me because I wasn't expecting a leap that quickly. It's very good time ahead of Arsenal, and he got a bit of a rest as well, half an hour. I expect he won't train. I honestly expect he won't train, and he'll just play the Arsenal game. Guardiola is going to not be able to refuse the temptation to play him. Apparently, Rodri said, "I'm not going to train. I don't feel great, but I'll be fine tomorrow." That was on Wednesday, ahead of the Napoli game, and he's been very smart about his body, and he trusts his body. And Guardiola trusts him, and he was right, and he came off 60 minutes, and we won. And he was great. And it's a very, 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 very encouraging development because this guy is still, in my opinion, the best player in world football at his best. Now, you can add Kusanov into this if you want to, but I wanted to take a time out to talk about that triangle of players. And I know they weren't tested that much. I know it was 10 men again. But it's just a feel-good... It was a good feeling with these players in particular. I really like that triangle. Ruben Diaz looks reinvigorated because of the big man. And Josko Vardiol, on his return to Manchester City, looks incredibly encouraging. Vardiol is a special footballer. He is wonderful, wonderfully talented. That left foot is really, really useful. Yeah, we need that. We absolutely need that balance that he helps with the build-up. And, of course, he's an incredibly smart player as well in terms of how he uses the ball and what he shows for Manchester City. Yeah, and look, I know he's only back for 2 games now, but he's crucial for this team. Absolutely is. The way that he supports the team in terms of the build-up, his composure, the counter-press, recovering the ball, just really, 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 really good. And I am so buzzing to have him back in the side because Vardiol is an incredibly talented footballer, once again, who doesn't lose the ball. And looking at his stats right now, 95% pass accuracy with 89 touches, strong in the air, won all his ground duels as well. Doesn't give the ball away. He keeps the ball really technically brilliant in the centre. And I think there's a really budding partnership there with him and Ruben Diaz. When you've got the physicality of Kusanov and O'Reilly either side of him, and then the man mountain that is Donnarumma behind him, it's a really, really encouraging triangle of players there. Because Diaz's form hasn't been great. And but I think, having someone like Donnarumma behind him, a new hype man, a new guy to bang heads together, I think Diaz likes being the sort of alpha, but when you want it all and there's no one really to step up to you, like Rico Lewis isn't going to challenge you, or Núñez alongside him, even Vardiol's not that guy. There's no one in the team really to get him going again. Donnarumma is this fucking massive unit to come back into the side that absolutely will get him going again, and I think there's a real presence from Donnarumma that gets the best out of Ruben Diaz and Josko Vardiol. Once again, I'm not going to talk about Kusanov in this video extensively, but Kusanov last night was just so strong in the challenge, and didn't give the ball away at all. I think Kusanov completed like 90. He misplaced one pass, I think. 99% of his passes, 78 out of 79. Just so good, man. And Nico Riley looks really physical and strong as well alongside him. He was 90% pass accuracy too, strong, aggressive. I think that's a really, really encouraging back three, personally, and I think it's got a lot of potential there. And I think this is what you build on, If you build on these partnerships, you build on Rodri and Foden and Haaland and Doku, and then you build on Josko and Diaz and Donnarumma and so on, you've got a real good chance there. I think, honestly, we can't underestimate the aura of Donnarumma. I think that what he's brought back into the City side in terms of strength and belief and a new renowned, not a reconsidered focus is really encouraging. Finally, Haaland as captain was genius. I've said it before, but I want to say it again. Guardiola putting Haaland into the captaincy group was just ridiculously smart. Ridiculously smart. I think he looks utterly motivated this season. I think he is so focused on Manchester City as one of the leaders. We put him part of the captaincy group, 25 years old now, a lifelong Manchester City fan. He was very blunt and forthright with his criticism of City last season, and apparently he was one of the ones banging on the door to get City to sign Donnarumma because he really rates him, and I think he's enjoying this leadership role. I'll go to the quotes from Guardiola. Guardiola said, this season has made an incredible step. I'm happy for him because Norway's close to playing in a big competition after many years after his father. He signed a new deal for many years here, making natural steps forward to become something at City, not coming here just to score goals. That's the main thing. And what he means by that is he said something more than just a goal scorer. He wants to be a legend. And yeah, I think that contract and last season, very obvious to me that Haaland is taking it very seriously. And he also went on to say, he was asked if he's noticed anything different about Haaland. He said, we changed a few things in terms of mythology and training with Pep Linders coming in. In the USA at the Club World Cup, we saw something in him. He was so committed and so focused. And yeah, you can see it on the pitch. Like, I think his overall play has been so much better. The goals speak for itself. 6 in 5 this season for City. He scored 10 goals in his last 5 games in all competitions, which is just ridiculous. That's not right. I think it's more than that. No, yeah, in the last 5 games it is. Just stupid. Like, he's absolutely on fire this season. Scoring 5 for Norway the other day. Brace against United, another goal here, another world class finish as well. Haaland isn't playing like just as a great striker. He's playing as a leader right now, and I think sometimes we don't really give him the credit that he deserves for what he does anyway. His goal scoring is beyond normal. It's absolutely absurd. He's a ridiculous footballer, a ridiculous finisher, an incredible athlete, but right now he's playing like a leader too. And if Haaland, his build-up play, as Miguel said in the chat as well, has definitely got better. He's more involved, there's more intensity. And if he carries on being like that, you've got yourself an all-timer. Like, he already is, in my opinion, in that way, because he's the best in the world, the hardest thing in the world, in my opinion. But the way that he's taking responsibility, and when you've got that presence of being 6'5" and being like an absolute beast, you've got to drag people along with you. You've got to intimidate people, absolutely. If I was 6'5" and a footballer, I would be bullying the shit out of people. I'm not. I'm 5'10". I'm not an athlete at all. But if I was 6'5", I would be throwing that weight around. I would be like, move, man, all the time. I would be bullying people because why not? Have that aggression. Enjoy ragdolling people everywhere. And I think Haaland right now just shows that he wants to be the leader that this team needs. So yeah, like, I think it was a genius move, and I'll do a bit more of a detailed look on that maybe one day. But I really enjoy Captain Haaland. I think he's got a lot to offer. So I think there are 5 things that I wanted to talk about. I think Foden is evolving in front of our eyes. I think that was an incredibly smart Phil Foden, not just a goal-scoring Phil Foden, or a skillful one that dictates play, and that is a frightening experience. And is Doku taking another step centrally, affecting the game with his incredible dribbling through the middle? It's very exciting to see. Rodri looks like he might be back to getting close to his best again. That triangle of Josko, Diaz and Donnarumma might just be it. And Haaland, the captain, is absolutely genius. Guys, let me know the 5 things that you took from the game. Please like the video. If you are new here, consider subscribing too. I'll be back tomorrow, probably with a preview for the Arsenal game. For now, the Blues, have a lovely day. Thanks for watching. Up the Blues. Come on, you Blues.